Hello, we're glad to have you join us on NTA Nationwide, coming to you live from the nation's capital city, Abuja. And my name is Ogechi Paul. You are welcome. Let's begin by telling you that President Muhammadu Buhari has ordered the disengagement of the former chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Pensions Reform, Abdullahi Abdul Rashid Maina, from the Federal Civil Service. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, announced this in a statement. A memo has also been sent to the head of service of the Federation demanding full report on circumstances that led to the recall of Alhaji Maina and posting to the Interior Ministry. The reports, according to Mr. Adesina, is to be submitted with the Chief of Staff to the President before the end of work this Monday. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari just back from the Republic of Turkey, where he touched on many issues that include commerce and trade for more developmental strides. Earlier in the day, public affairs analyst Jide Ojo spoke to my colleague on the gains of Mr. President's visit to the Republic of Turkey for the D8 summit.
Of gains in terms of, tourism. You are talking of diversification of Nigerian economy. Tourism is very key. There are a lot of tourist interest between Turkey and Nigeria. Also, in terms of economy, you had Malangabashe talking about the interest of some Turkish investors to come and invest in Nigeria airport, making it a world-class, airport. That's another plus. I've talked about the academic angle, the educational exchanges, and building more schools. Having some Turkish expatriates coming to Nigeria to investment. The nuts and bolts of all of this will have to be tied up by the bureaucracy. The two presidents have met, they've discussed, they have agreed, and it is now left for the bureaucracy of the two countries to work out the final details of when and how this will take effect.
Well, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has described the secret ownership of companies as dangerous, stating that over $50 billion is lost to illicit financial flows while addressing the Extractive Industries in Transparency Initiative conference in Jakarta, Indonesia. He thanked the United Kingdom, Denmark, amongst others, for leading the way in establishing public registers of real human owners of companies and their respective countries, and called on the G8 and G20 countries to follow suit by initiating actions to end corporate secrecy at home and their dependencies.
Nigeria will remain on board the EITI and the ownership transparency trade because they align with our national priorities and, of course, will help to advance even the electoral mandate of our administration, which is to fight corruption, combat insecurity, and grow the economy.
Vice President Osinbajo said Nigeria is still grappling with negative consequences of the use of opacity by senior members of government and their cronies between 1993 and 1998 who awarded themselves juicy contracts in the extractive industry, like the Malabu oil and gas, which is subject of criminal and civil proceedings in many parts of the world, involving huge legal costs while the full benefit of the natural resources remain unexploited for the benefit of the people of Nigeria. Now, the House of Representatives has emphasized the need to make sustainable laws governing oil exploration across the country. This came up when the House Committee on Environment and Habitat visited some communities hosting oil exploration companies in Rivers State. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Zumba reports.
Some of the laws, the committee says, will check certification given arbitrarily without actually having the work done. The visit is to interact with production companies, host communities, see how exploration activities impact on the environment. The committee visited the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency in Austria. The project coordinator, Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, told the committee that they are looking at quick response to water supply to the community community and will strive to clean up Ogoni land as well as provide source of livelihood for the people.
I've done the initial process to get water into the place. We've done the mapping. As we speak, we know all the communities and where there are water facilities and whether they're working or not. We have commenced the procurement process for getting the contractors to get to site. We are going to be looking at the capacity of the companies and we want to do very quick rehabilitation of that.
The committee were also happily received by some community who also decried some activities of foreign oil companies and oil bunkerers, which has devastating effect on the environment, and appealed to the assemblymen to continue to legislate towards making oil companies perform their corporate social responsibilities effectively.
Part of the things that can strengthen this environment is to have sustainable laws. There's a legal framework on which you have the foundation on which these companies can host their platform so that we know the do's and don'ts. We're talking about production. Also, what do you do with gas? What do you do with the byproducts? The whole question should be asked so that if there is anywhere there's a gap, then you don't approve the production or the facility.
From Obogu Flow Station in Rivers State, Ifani Isumba, NT News.
Now, winds of hope have gathered in Cross River State. This is quite critical because many people there believe that development of the state will largely depend on establishment of operational industries, as there are a widespread of abandoned ones which have crippled economic activities. Thankfully, the federal government, through the Presidential Initiative on Agriculture and Industrial Development team, is about to alter the course, as Joseph Johnson explains.
It is a flattering gesture of hope to combat a colossal abandonment of projects across the state. Now, the need to revive them is dire, as is the process, which has just begun. From one ailing project to the other, tales of abandoned industries greet the team who went round the state for an on-the-spot assessment, accompanied by potential investors. Their journey didn't end at the sites, it culminated to an investment summit. For the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Usani Uguru Usani, the message has not changed from job creation, and he is leaving nothing to chance.
Our expectation is that the state government selects or chooses the private investors who will carry out investments in their own areas of competence. The federal government is only there to facilitate availability of credit through the development banks and investment banks as single-digit units.
This is the fourth state visited by the team, and the locals here are optimistic that the approach adopted will not be flawed along the line. Once upon a time, the name Tinapa used to ring a bell, but sadly now, the bells have gone quiet for over a decade, turning this beautiful place into a ghost town. So much so that one could barely hear its silent whispers from a distance. But hopefully, the narratives would soon change. From Tinapa in Calabar, Cross River State, Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Now, the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, has continued its clampdown on dealers of fertilizer suspected to be adulterated in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. This operation followed information from a preliminary investigation by the Department of Security Services. Charles Abba has a report.
Farmers in Benue State have continued to complain about fake or adulterated fertilizer in various communities in the state. It is to arrest the situation that the Department of Security Services commenced investigation that led to the sealing of 5 fertilizer shops at the new garage in Makurdi Metropolis. State Coordinator, Standards Organization of Nigeria, Samson Makolo, who led the operation, stated that the brand of fertilizer being adulterated is the nitrogen potassium phosphorus NPK. He maintained that the mixed product has adverse effects on crop yields and soil quality.
Samples were drawn to SON laboratory and another independent laboratory. The results on the fertilizer showed that all the NPK fertilizers were adulterated.
Over 300 bags of assorted brand of NPK fertilizer products were evacuated from the shops pending completion of investigation by the DSS. This is the machine used by those suspected to be involved in adulterating and selling the rebagged fertilizer products. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Well, it's now time to join Lagos for an update on the kidnapper, events and sexual abuse, plus the Down syndrome in focus, as we join Jennifer for details. Hello, Jennifer, it's over to you.
Ogechi, and a warm welcome to Lagos. In line with the agenda of President Buhari's administration to improve power generation and accessibility to Nigerians, government has proposed 30% of electricity supply to be generated through renewable energy such as solar power. The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, stated this at a forum in Lagos. Rotimi Oluwagbemi compiled the report.
The role of constant power supply, they say, cannot be overemphasized in the development of any nation's economy. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the approach of the dry season should be enough signal for everyone to switch to solar power, as most dams currently supplying electricity at full capacity would drop because of reduction on the volume of water. He therefore appealed to Nigerians to invest in solar energy to alleviate the problem of power shortage in the country.
Grid extension, transmission expansion is a very capital-intensive business. And this is where solar becomes the real energy of today to help us quickly reach those communities, those people who it is much more expensive to try to connect and it is much difficult to try to connect. And solar systems, solar home systems, mini grids, and all of those things will help us quickly get there.
Meanwhile, at an investiture ceremony, the minister identified power and responsibility as important tools in leadership position. He said it is believed that everybody has leadership traits and urged leaders to be mindful of their integrity.
President Buhari can now tell you, well, the revenues have dropped, so we can't build Bodo Boni. But no, there must be another way. Leaders find another way. They don't quit.
The event has in attendance prominent Nigerians as well as traditional rulers.
The Lagos State government today brought the alleged kidnapper, Chukwudimeme Onwumadike, popularly known as Evans, before Justice Oluwatosin Taiwo of the Lagos High Court, Igboshere, Lagos, for arraignment. Vera Chumuba has more.
Chukwudimeme Onwumadike, the alleged kidnapper, was to be arraigned today on fresh criminal charges that border on murder, kidnapping, and illegal possession of firearms. But the arraignment could not go on due to an application filed by Evans seeking to quash the charge on grounds of jurisdiction. The fresh charges are separate from the ones before Justice Hakeem Oshodi of the Ikeja Division of the court. Counsel to Evans, Olukoya Ogungbeje, informed the court that he got information that Onwumadike will be arraigned only this morning. He asked the court for a short adjournment to enable him reply to the counter affidavit. He also drew the attention of the court to the motion earlier filed before the court challenging the competence of the charges. The lead prosecutor and Lagos State Director of Public Prosecution, Titilayo Shitabe, was quick to react. She corrected the impression of being served this morning with a proof of service effected on the 28th of October in line with Section 87, subsection A of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, which requires that the accused be served personally. The DPP, however, told the court that the motion filed by Evans was not ripe for hearing and urged the court to arraign the suspect. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo granted a short adjournment to enable Evans' counsel to reply on point of law. Evans and other suspects were brought to court amid tight and heavily armed security operatives. Justice Taiwo Oluwatoyin has fixed Friday, the 27th of October, to hear the motion challenging the competence of the charges. In Lagos, Vera Chumuba, NTA News.
Now, parents have been urged to create a safe and healthy environment where cordial relationship can exist with their children and wards. The call was made at a workshop on sexual abuse in Lagos. Malaria today reports that the workshop was organized by a non-governmental organization to sensitize the people on ways to curb sexual abuse in the society.
According to UNICEF, 6 out of 10 children in Nigeria experience emotional, physical, or sexual abuse before the age of 18. Sexual abuse is a severely traumatic experience that majorly affects the girl child than the boys. This gave rise to Grace Life Event Center to organize a workshop as a means of creating more awareness on how to eradicate this menace from the society. A psychotherapist, Oluwatosin Akinloye, urged parents to indulge their children in sex education at their early stage.
Let them know what is right, let them know what is wrong, so that even if they are the risks of being abused, they can tell this is wrong, so I won't be a part of it.
Other speakers at the workshop suggested ways sexual abuse can be eradicated from the society.
It's not enough to start waiting for the government to do something about it. We as individuals, as parents, as teachers, wherever you are, it's your responsibility. If you notice anything funny or anything odd, you have to just speak out.
Make sure you are best friends to your children. That doesn't take away your ability to discipline your children, but let them be comfortable to tell you strange things that have happened to them.
These were reactions to the workshop.
I learned a lot. I acquired much knowledge, and even when things happen, I need to move on with our life.
I've achieved a lot so that I have more to tell my peoples in the school.
Sexual abuse is an offense punishable under several sections of Chapter 21 of the Criminal Code in Nigeria. In Lagos, Malaria today, NTA
against children with special needs is capable of traumatizing them and making it difficult for caregivers to integrate them into the society. This was the focus of the message passed across to the public during a road walk organized by the Down Syndrome Foundation in Lagos. Diana Ajale monitored the road walk and compiled the report.
The sensitization work kicked off from Adilabu Street, Surulere, through some other adjoining streets in the area. The president, Down Syndrome Foundation of Nigeria, Rose Modi, described Down syndrome as a condition and not a disease. She therefore urged the public to stop stigmatizing persons with special needs and encourage their well-being.
We are reaching out to everybody to help these families that have children with the condition called Down syndrome to be fully integrated into the society.
Time to work, do exercise, everything to work. You don't work to work in that planning, also D. You don't come and now enjoy yourself.
The Commissioner for Youth and Social Development, Uzamat Akimbile Yusuf, who was represented, advised Nigerians to join hands in encouraging people with special needs and carry them along at all times.
So many people today believe any child that is challenged is maybe pursued by evil spirit, they cast and bind. And not that we should not pray, but at the same time give them and let them assess the correct treatment so that they can be useful to the society at large.
Organizers and experts say early intervention is key to helping kids with Down syndrome cope with the condition. The theme for this year's awareness is "Together we can make a difference."
And those are the stories making the rounds at this hour from Lagos. Back to Ogechi in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Jennifer. Now, moving on now, inconclusive records and high rate of people traveling abroad without proper documentation make Nigeria more vulnerable to the rising global trend of human organ harvesting and transplant. This was the opinion of experts on Good Morning Nigeria this Monday. Lydia Sampson reports.
Though organ harvesting or transplant can be a legal process with the consent of donors, it requires a highly technical medical process involving a theme. Hence the assertion that medical experts are part of the deadly global syndicate illegally harvesting organs. Most victims are unaware as they are drugged, coerced, or simply in search of better health care, but end up becoming worse off due to fraudulent operations. The guests therefore urge Nigerians with information on sharp practices on organ harvesting to report to relevant authorities.
There is a very wide gap between the demand and supply. There's a lot of waiting list for patients that need organ transplant. So, and there are fewer donors.
It's an organized crime. It's also international in scope. Nigeria, some of the victims move from Nigeria to those countries where they have such calamities befallen them.
The guys highlighted Southeast Asia as a route to be wary of due to the high rate of human organ racketing in the zone.
We should still focus on the issue of awareness creation to Nigerians as to whether this expedition is worthwhile, especially when we have these services in this country.
We are very much working hard to work with all our partners, particularly in Europe, in Africa, West Africa sub-region. Even in West Africa sub-region, we have a framework where we meet.
The guests are optimistic that the implementation of the Health Act 2014, in addition to an aggressive awareness, will go a long way, keeping the citizenry alert and from the evil activities of human organ harvest syndicate. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
In the meantime, efforts to protect pregnant women from malaria and reduce cases of newborn deaths necessitated the launch of Malaria in Pregnancy Intervention Project tagged Tip-Top in Ebonyi State. Nekoko reports that the project, which is sponsored by JHPGO, an international non-profit health organization, was flagged off by wife of the state governor, Rachel Umahi, at Ohauku local government area.
Described as one of the largest disease burdens in the country, malaria in pregnancy health experts say is responsible for 10,000 maternal deaths and 100,000 newborn deaths recorded annually. It also results in low birth weight in babies and severe anemia in pregnant women. Although there have been many malaria interventions and drugs to prevent malaria in pregnancy, a large proportion of pregnant women do not have access to them. Hence, the Tip-Top project is designed to expand malaria prevention treatment using community-based intervention approach. Flagging off the project, wife of the state governor, Mrs. Rachel Umahi, expressed optimism that when implemented, the project will go a long way in reducing the burden of malaria in pregnant women.
The devastating consequences of malaria affects pregnant women and their newborns seriously. It lowers the immunity of pregnant women.
Project Director of JPGO, Mr. Bright Oji, disclosed that Tip-Top, which is the acronym for Transforming Intermittent Preventive Treatment for Optimal Pregnancy, is to be implemented in 3 states, namely Ebonyi, Niger, and Ondo.
Building on JPGO's effort to ensure intermittent preventive treatment of malaria in pregnancy, which is all women in the community. Between 2007 and 2010, JPGO collaborated with the National Malaria Elimination Program, the Productive Health Division of the Federal Ministry of Health, and provided technical assistance to the Ministry of Health in Akwa Ibom to introduce community-directed approach to focus on malaria in pregnancy.
There were goodwill messages from stakeholders and development partners. In Abakaliki, Nneka Oko, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide. Is now to pause for some messages. The bulletin continues shortly. Stay with us.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Unity and peace is an inevitable option for growth and development of any nation. This is the focus on Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live promises to be incisive, informative, and educative. Join us.
Easy steps on how to enter the Be Inspired Meetings drawers. Step 1.
Download FGNI app from Apple Store or Google Play Store. Step 2. Go to the Be Inspired section and scroll down. Step 3. Click on one of the following options. A. Accept terms and enter draw NGN card if you want to pay with a Nigerian bank card. Complete all relevant sections. Click on Pay, select Pay with Card, enter your card details and complete the payment process. Or select Pay with Bank, select your bank and complete the payment process. B. Accept terms and enter draw NGN bank. If you have paid over the counter at any UBA branch and you have a UBA bank deposit slip, complete the relevant sections, including bank deposit slip number. Click Submit to complete the payment process. Or C. Accept terms and enter draw. PayPal. Log into your PayPal account and complete the payment process.
The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, the Made in Nigeria campaign. In the midst of unprecedented multiple challenges, our great country Nigeria, as Africa's largest economy, is surely marching on to a new era of all-round prosperity, especially through re-engineered and diversified economy, powerfully driven by the change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR.
We will patronize local entrepreneurs. We will promote the manufacturing powerhouses. Our objective is to make Nigeria a new manufacturing hub.
It is not time to complain. It is time to join the campaign. It is time for economic recovery, growth and diversification of our economy by Made in Nigeria.
From the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos, on Sunday, November 5, 2017, Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSON, brings to you the show of all shows, featuring Nigeria's topmost music stars, the most exciting fashion, the nation's glitterati and paparazzi, at the climax of the electrifying 2017 COSON Week, the COSON Song Awards. The only way to describe it is wow! Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos, Sunday, November 5, 2017. The COSON Song Awards. The only way to describe it is wow! Red Carpet Fantastico, 5 p.m. Strictly by invitation. The COSON Song Awards. The only way to describe it is wow!
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism and other criminal activities. Be productive, be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
These patriots worked together to achieve independence for one united Nigeria. Although some may say Nigeria is a mistake, we all know that the Almighty never makes mistakes.
God has not made a mistake by bringing us all together in the way that He has brought us together. God has put us together here so that we can build a community that will be an example to the entire world.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
So welcome back to Nationwide. And now experts in the education sector, particularly those specialized in civil education, are in Abuja for 3 days to revise the curriculum for senior secondary schools in Nigeria towards breeding reliable, competent and responsible future leaders. Rashidat Mustafa Lagunju reports that it was at the instance of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council and Development Research Projects Center.
Education among Nigerians, according to analysts, left a yawning gap in citizenship consciousness in the early 80s when the nation was struggling and confronted with challenges of democracy. These and other recent national and global trends culminated in the desire and serious need for civic education in the nation's school curriculum. Ever since its introduction, the curriculum has to be revised at least every 5 years to address emerging issues.
It is imperative to continuously build our educational system up to global standards, such that we produce effective citizens who are conscious of their responsibilities to the family, community, and country.
The review of the contents and concepts of the curriculum is key, especially as it targets the senior secondary school students who are at their adolescent stage. Adolescents who form the core of the senior secondary school population need new sets of skills to cope with this and survive in this globalized, high technology world.
The revised version is expected to equip the young generation with skills needed to deal with situations of conflict, knowledge and tolerance, and the ability to understand the consequences of their action. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
Well, we apologize for those soft visuals there. Still talking education, concerted effort has been made to complement parents and schools as government intensifies its fight against child labor and trafficking in the country. Latest of such effort is the presentation of an award of a Hope and Organization Essay and Art competition for secondary school students from 5 states, including FCT. The competition was organized by Civil Society Action Against Child Labor and Trafficking in Nigeria and border communities. Abdullahi Musa Suleja has details.
It is no longer news that the business of child labor and trafficking in persons in Nigeria and its border communities has been a source of concern to the authorities. This informed the decision by the organizers, funded by European Union and ECOWAS Commission, to broaden the knowledge, involve children, youth and the public on being responsible to issues of child immigration and trafficking. Winners emerged from schools in the 5 states with FCT that participated. Ibrahim praised Tochi from Jewel Model School, Kubwa, Abuja, topping as the overall winner. The entire winners were crowned Children Anti-Trafficking Crusaders 2017.
My teacher told me I should write about the essay. I read about it. It was so touching and so sad because this problem is actually breaking children in our country. And some children are even afraid to live to the fullest now because of this problem.
We will be training media focus groups for NAPTIP. So you can see that the message is going to reach out, not just to parents, even to border officials.
The 2017 event has the theme, The Effect of Child Trafficking in Nigeria. Abdullahi Musa Suleja, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the need for concerted efforts to better the lots of Nigerian girls through access to quality education is of paramount importance as it will empower them to reach their full potentials. This is the view of key players in the education sector in Kaduna while charting a new course to girls' child education in northern Nigeria. Tina Toro reports.
Available statistics shows that out of 57 million children that are out of school, 31 million are girls, and 25% of these girls drop out before completing primary school. In Kaduna State, however, the free education policy of the present administration has brought about an increase in enrollment of girls in schools.
We're lucky that we no longer have a very serious girl-child education challenges.
Religious and customary beliefs, as well as ignorance on the part of some parents, have been identified as some factors responsible for some girls being out of school.
The society thinks that females are expected to be at home, they should be silent, not to seen or heard, and so we do not encourage them. Anything that would get them out of the home is not encouraged.
Most children are on the street because when you ask the parents, they tell you that we need to feed. The answer I usually give to them is that it is not the responsibility of these children to fend for you. It is your responsibility to fend for them.
Empowering and investing in the girl child, stakeholders say, is critical to the economic growth of any nation.
That we have a national law, which is the Child's Right Act, and in that act it is compulsory for girls or children to be educated, and so any violation of that law will mean that the person that violated the law will be responsible. But you have states that have yet to pass this law, and Kaduna State is one of the states that are yet to pass the Child's Right law.
The free education should continue so that parents would not have any excuse at all to say, okay, we don't have funds.
Only when investments in programs for girls on issues that particularly affect them due to their age and gender are complemented with corresponding investments can Nigeria make real progress in protecting their rights. In Kaduna, Tina Turu.
Well, we're not done with Kaduna as we join Zulay for more reports from that center. Hello, Zulay.
Hello, Gichi. Good evening, and thanks for joining us in Kaduna. The Presidential Investigation Panel to review compliance of the armed forces with human rights obligation and rules of engagement has completed its sitting in Kaduna. While in Kaduna, the panel listened to presentations on 15 petitions received cutting across states in the northwestern part of the country. Austin Ayebe reports.
All the petitions received by the Presidential Investigation Panel bordered on alleged security humiliation, unlawful killing, unlawful arrest and detention, and death in custody and refusal to comply with substituting or valid order and judgment of a competent court. All the allegations were against the Nigerian army. The panel took time to listen to the narratives of the petitioners and receive documentary evidence from survivors of alleged torture. In some of the petitions, army officers alleged to have commanded troops in the respective areas of the jurisdiction where the alleged violation of rights of some people committed were not present but have been communicated to meet with the panel in Abuja.
We say we must observe fairness to everybody who appear before us and treat both the army and the civilians and everybody who appear before us equally. Nobody is higher than the other in this investigation.
We are able to hear all the petitions brought before us in the Northwest, and some of them we were able to conclude. For the others, we've invited them to Abuja for the conclusion of the case.
Overall, some of the petitioners commended President Muhammad Buhari for setting up the panel, saying they have faith in the members that at the end of the exercise, justice will prevail. The panel moves to Lagos for continuation of the exercise. In Kaduna, I'm Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
And away from the Presidential Investigation Panel, prudent management of public fund, as well as ensuring value, was the focus of discourse when members of the Ugandan Parliament visited the Kaduna State House of Assembly on a study tour. Ahmed Umar Kudan reports that the delegation was earlier at some ministries and agencies of Kaduna State government for knowledge sharing. The report.
Members of Ugandan National Assembly Committee on Local Government Accounts were at the Kaduna State House of Assembly to observe process of ensuring transparency and accountability in spending public finances, as well as penciling down areas of experience sharing. Leader of the delegation, Okumu Ronald, said in Uganda, the committee works to ensure that infrastructure is provided for the populace, adding that the committee has the power to prosecute those found to have mismanaged public funds.
We look at water points, how water is distributed. We look at works, generally constructions, social services, health and education, and all the other service delivery.
Chairman Kaduna State House of Assembly Committee on Public Accounts, Samuel Ubankata Tanko, said his committee is in charge of both state and local government public accounts.
It is the government that has that mandate or power to now
push them to the relevant security agencies where they will be tracked down and refund government funds.
The delegation was at the Ministry of Water Resources to see the level of progress in both urban and rural water supply in the state. In Kaduna, Ahmad Umar Kudang, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the spiritual father of Cherubim and Seraphim Church worldwide, Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Adefila Abidoye, has lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's effort in the fight against insecurity and the move at revamping the nation's economy, with a call for more to be done. The church leader was speaking to journalists in Kaduna at an event heralding the church's annual convention and conference in Uyo State. Benny Adams has the details.
Most Reverend Dr. Samuel Adefila Abidoye, who thanked God for the president's quick recovery, noted that much has been done by the present administration in the country in terms of unity, security, and the economy, but advised that President Muhammadu Buhari strengthens his economic team to ensure a reduction in the hardship being faced by Nigerians across the country. He assured of his church's commitment to the indivisibility of Nigeria and called on all Nigerians to support the present administration. With the theme, Kingdom Exploits, the Cherubim and Seraphim Church is expected to reflect on achievements in the year ending with a view to charting a way forward in the new year. The 96-year-old spiritual father prayed for peace, unity, and development of Nigeria. In Kaduna, Benny Adams, NTA News.
And on health, the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, in collaboration with Paul's Pediatric Universal Life-Saving Effort, has organized a neonatal resuscitation program to train health workers on critical care. Hadiza Muhammad reports.
Neonatal resuscitation is intervention after a baby is born to help it breathe and also help its heart to beat properly. The neonatal resuscitation program is aimed at training healthcare workers in low and middle income countries for care of critical ill children and newborns. Neonatal nurse instructor Dr. Joy Henderson explained on the challenges in critical care, proper heart beat rate, airway, breathing, and circulation. Neonatologist Patrick Leblanc spoke on the advanced care, positive proper ventilation, and stressing on the importance of teamwork in critical care. The first few moments of newborn's life can be the most critical. Therefore, experts say proper resuscitation requires essential equipment and knowledge of unnecessary protocols before delivery. From the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, Hadiza Muhammad, NTA News.
And that's it from here. We're back to Ogeti in Abuja for more Nationwide.
Well, thank you, Zulay. We're now ready to join Port Harcourt for stories trending over there. Mina is our guide. Mina, you're welcome.
Thank you, Ogechi. Good afternoon. This is Port Harcourt. Rivers State Governor Mr. Wika says his administration is poised to enhance effective dispensation of justice and as a state a regional hub for legal services. Governor Wika stated this at the special court session held to mark the beginning of the 2017-2018 legal year at the State Judiciary Complex. Ogedi Ekwere completes the report.
The special court session is an annual tradition of the judiciary to herald the beginning of a new legal year, providing a platform for stock-taking and the evaluation of activities. Governor Wike assured that his administration will continue to improve on the state judiciary and the promotion of the rule of law.
We continue to witness an insidious erosion of the rule of law and independence of the judiciary through a combination of veiled threats, unwarranted interferences, and opportunity pressures on judges.
Chief Judge of Rivers State Justice Adama Eyaye Laminkoro said the state judiciary had made significant progress but enjoined judges and lawyers to expedite action on the speedy dispensation of justice.
In the High Court, number of cases brought forward as at 1st October 2016, 10,908. Number of cases filed on 1st October 2016 to 30th September 2017, 4,875.
Others in their various prayers noted the need for the bar and the bench to collaborate to serve the society better. The governor also commissioned the ultra-modern High Court Block E building and the E-Library. A real dedication service had earlier been held in Port Harcourt. Ogedinyeku, NTA News.
With global attention currently fixed on water, safety, availability, and sustainability, the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta PIN is grooming young Nigerians in the region on healthy water, sanitation, and hygiene habits. NTA Finance reports that this has become imperative with recent multi-purpose care. Participants are expected to be informed citizens on hygiene who will become ambassadors for the program.
The hygiene promotion training for trainers organized by the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta seeks to build the capacity of educators in the region to drive home information on safe health practices among the people.
We've seen an outbreak of disease in Nigeria, from Ebola to monkeypox, etc. Water, health and sanitation at this particular point in time is very critical.
The school is the place where the next set of leaders are being built. And so if we can get to the schools and change their behaviors and practices, then we are getting to the larger community.
Partners from the River State Government, Rotary Club, Center for Information and Development, among others, variously indicated their roles in achieving a successful training on water, sanitation and health for all.
And by so doing, sicknesses will be far away from them, because the hands is the major contact point of anything good and bad.
Students from select secondary schools in the state had the chance to illustrate their role in propagating the gospel of hand washing as key element in maintaining a disease-free society.
As an agent of change, I'll transfer that knowledge to students in my school, teachers.
The fact that I was involved in this whole program is to enlighten more youths.
The PIN training will be extended over time to other states of the Niger Delta region. In Port Harcourt, Onengiye Fineface, NTA News.
River State government says it has invested so much in the physical infrastructural development of schools in the state, and there is need for capacity building of teachers and students to consolidate on the efforts of the state government. Commissioner for Education, Dr. Tamanos Isigogo Jaja, said these are the 2017 edition of the NTA ETV Science Expo in Port Harcourt. Vivian Ezadiote reports.
NTA ETV Science Expo is a program organized by the Nigerian Television Authority, which gathers students, especially young creative minds, from different states to showcase their talents at the national level. The students competing to represent River State at the national level were drawn from the junior and senior CAT schools. While encouraging the student, the Commissioner for Education, Dr. Gogo Jaja, who commended NTA for the novel idea, advised the participants to go out and make the state proud.
You must have confidence that I must win this competition. Because when you don't have confidence, when you don't believe in yourself, you will lose concentration.
The Zonal Director, NTA Port Harcourt Network Center, Bayo Bamidele, said the whole essence of the program is not just for the participating students to compete for laurels, but also to build bridges and develop the spirit of sportsmanship.
This, in a nutshell, bring talents together, and as a means of also encouraging them to be able to identify their strong points early in life.
Some of the participating students expressed delight and promised to do their best to bring back the 2017 Expo Exhibition Trophy to the state.
I'm very excited because I would like to thank NTA for organizing this program.
The grand finale of the 2017 Expo Exhibition is billed to hold in Abuja. In Port Harcourt, Vivian Ezadefi, NTA News.
And that's a bit from Port Harcourt. It's back to you, Ogeti, for the rest of the news.
Well, thank you, Mina. Aside spiritual benefit, the 2017 Christian pilgrimage is built to engage and produce Nigerians to contribute to national development. Executive Secretary, Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, Reverend Touja, made this known at the Thanksgiving service held at the Family Worship Center in Abuja, where he encouraged Nigerians to develop a culture of thanksgiving to God.
We are going to get a more organized media program that will cover the pilgrimage better and relay it to Nigerians. A number of things have been taken out to make the pilgrimage cheaper and more affordable.
Executive Secretary also said the 2017 pilgrimage will be flagged off in Gombe State in November. In a bid to promote lasting peace between the Fulani and Irigwe communities of Basa local government area, Catholic Bishop of Jos, Most Reverend Ignatius K. Gama, has held a reconciliation meeting with a strong appeal to the two communities to put away their differences. Priscilla reports that the meeting was preceded by the celebration of a special Holy Mass at St. Gabriel's Parish, Jebu, Basa.
Worried by the spate of bloodshed experienced in Basa community recently, Archbishop Kaigama said the meeting is to reconcile the people and emphasized on the need to shun ethnic and religious differences and coexist peacefully. He reiterated that no meaningful development can take place in an atmosphere of chaos, saying dialogue remains key in handling any differences.
We are just here to appeal to God to have mercy on us. We are here to appeal to God to help to soften the hearts of all of us.
There is nowhere it is preached that you should kill any human being. Nowhere. In the entire Bible, it's not there. In the entire Quran, it's not there.
Peace. Peace. I don't want any crashes.
We need these prayers, Archbishop, because we have been in trouble.
Meanwhile, parishioners of St. Gabriel's Parish turned out in their numbers to celebrate God's faithfulness on the parish at 25, where 380 candidates received the sacraments of confirmation.
Today, we are asked to go out and preach, not to preach violence, not to preach hatred.
From Basa, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Well, this is coming from our foreign desk as Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has pledged to tackle what he called Japan's two national crises after a resounding election victory on Sunday. These and other stories trending on the global scene. Let's join Adomu also.
Thank you and welcome to this segment of the